Good morning and happy Sunday to you. Welcome to One Church Empower Me Sundays. I am Marcia, and it is a blessing to be back with you all on today. It is a blessing to be in the land of the living and celebrating and chatting with the people of God. And I do just want to thank you all for tuning in, watching, and supporting. And to all of the replay viewers, welcome. Thank you all for your love and your support. All right, so we love to get started with birthdays and celebrations. If you've had a birthday, if you had a celebration, please do put it down in our chat so that we can celebrate with you as members of the body of Christ. We do want to just celebrate with you and honor you for your accomplishments and your special days. We did have a birthday. I think I did say my brother Vandor had a birthday on last week. So happy birthday again to you, bro. And my cousins, Jamon and Nikia, their wedding anniversary is tomorrow. So happy anniversary to you all. All right. So for the last 3 weeks, I've been talking about stewardship. We've been in the the 25th chapter of Matthew. And I believe the verses was 14 through 30. I think we tackled 14 through 26 already. So we are going to jump down and we are going to do 27 through 30. And I promise I will not be very long on today. So let's just go back really quickly and just do our definition of stewardship just so that we can have a quick reminder. Stewardship is being responsible for every dollar, resource, and person with which God entrusts us, knowing that God owns it all. So we had already talked about that we are just managing what God has given to us. That's our time, all of our gifts, our talents, all the possessions that we have, the people that are in our lives. That means our children, everything that we have, we know that God owns it all, right? So we are co-owners with God. Oh, that is so powerful, knowing that God owns it all and he loves us to give us his possessions, right? He gives us the things that he owns and loves and places those things in our hands. And so we have the responsibility, not just the responsibility, we have the privilege. We want to restate that today, not the responsibility so much. We have the privilege and the honor of taking care of God's possessions. Yeah, very, very good. So we talked about the verses 14 through 26, and we're going to jump down all the way to 27 through 30, and I'm going to read that for you today. 27 says this: "Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming I should have received what was my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away." Verse 30, "And cast the worthless servant into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth." All right. So let's just go back just a little bit to last week because it sounds like we're just jumping in the middle. So last week we talked about how the master calls the servant who does not take care of its talents, who does not multiply the gift or of time or resource, anything that we are given. If we don't take care of it and multiply it, he calls us slothful and lazy, right? So this is leading it up into that, right? We don't want to be that. We want to be good stewards over what God has given us. So we're jumping in on verse 30. And he says that we ought to have invested it, right? So that word invest means to buy into, right? So not just have it and keep it, but we ought to invest into it. That means that we should put more into it than what we have already had. So when we think about money, when we invest, we give it to someone who can multiply it. So when we think about a gift or a talent, how do we invest that? Well, sometimes when we are given a gift or a talent, it is in the form of a grace at first, right? So maybe you're just graced to do something. You have an ability, but it has not been very much cultivated, right? Hasn't been worked all the way out. So you can do it, but it's not perfected, right? And so our responsibility in that, investing in that, would be to get all the training. You spend time, you invest your time learning about that thing. You invest money into training classes. You invest your time, you invest equipment to extract all you can from the gift or resource that you've been given by God, so that it can multiply. Right? We talked about a couple weeks back is that these word talent is synonymous with another in another translation. I believe the Message translation, it calls it talent is a the same word as bag of money, right? And so we've been given these gifts and talents, our time, whatever resource that we've been given, it is supposed to produce for us, right? And so we have to have those things to live. We should not be gifted and broke. Oh my goodness. And so there is a responsibility that we have to multiply anything that we have been given. And so this verse tells us that we ought to have invested it, not go and hide it. Another verse says, I believe, it says that the person.